So last night when I was live streaming myself PK with the volatile nightmare staff on my magic pure, I happened to run into one of the biggest noobs I have ever seen, who was risking absolute bank. This noob, who went by the name of Alk Rufus, was skulled wearing a Robin Hood hat, a ranger's tunic, and ranger's tights. Not to mention his stats were extremely awful, and he had nearly got clapped by another player, and barely escaped his death. I then added Alk Rufus to my friends list, and not to my surprise, his private chat was left on. So I began tracking this cowboy down, knowing damn well I could one-hit his 60 HP with my volatile nightmare staff special attack, and claim his riches, straight into my savage bank. As he ran back into the danger zone, I nearly clapped him out with a 48, but luckily for Rufus he was barely able to tank out my special attack. I tried for a second to slap him down, but based on the fact that he was running directly for multi-wilderness, gave me a huge indication that he was just trying to lure me into his clan of ancient mace goblins. Feeling sketched out, I went and banged my nightmare staff, and came back to see what was happening with this confused, high-risking cowboy. It appeared he was in a fight with another guy, who looked like he was just as stupid as Rufus, as they engaged in one of the most pathetic fights I had ever seen in my entire life. Wow! At this moment, I honestly couldn't decide whether this was some sort of elaborate lure, or just a giant dumbass noob, who had absolutely no idea what he was doing. Either way, I knew that all it was going to take was one lucky special attack, and that ranger outfit was going to be mine. I then patiently waited for Alk Rufus to step back out of the bank, so I could clap him down with the quickness. But as I watched Rufus engage in conversation with the noob he was just fighting, it appeared that they were private messaging each other, that way they could meet up an undisclosed location, and finish their goblin boy fight. All of a sudden Rufus and his opponent had tellied away from the bank, and within the blink of an eye I broke into action, trying to hunt down Rufus boy as fast as I could. And after searching both Lumbridge and Camelot, we were able to track down Rufus boy and his brainless friend inside of the Edgeville bank. I then posted up outside of the Edgeville bank, waiting patiently for brain-dead Rufus boy to once again step out of the bank, so I could clap him with the almighty quickness. After waiting for what felt like hours, brain-dead Rufus boy and his opponent finally ran out of the bank, where I tried to rush him yet again, but unfortunately, our special attack only hit a 14, and before I could teleblock and entangle good old Rufus boy, he was running towards multi-wilderness yet again, which gave me the indication that this might be an elaborate lure after all. Riddled with rage, I tellied out, and went and lost my skull. Just in case this Alk Rufus chat was up to any funny business, which I was beginning to highly expect. Now at the same exact time that this was all going down, one of my savage goons was watching my live stream, and began to message Alk Rufus himself, and told him that he wanted to fight Rufus one-on-one in the wilderness, in which brain-dead Rufus boy had agreed. So by the time I made it back to the Edgeville wilderness, I had found that my buddy was actually engaging in combat with dumbass Rufus boy himself. Take note that I thought I was going to see Rufus fighting his shitty opponent from earlier, so when I saw that he was fighting one of my goons, I was extremely stoked, and I tried to rush in with the sneak attack spec for the KO, but unfortunately, Bucktooth Alk Rufus ran out of the wilderness and took off like a spooked horse in a thunderstorm. Ha 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 ha. Yes bro, yes.
I was waiting for you to come.
That guy is the luckiest goblin I have ever seen.
I know, right? Those specs.
laughing my ass off. I know, bro. I thought he was up to some crazy lure or something. But he's actually just an idiot. Wow.
He's coming back. Get ready to spec. Go hide. I'll DM you when he is coming back.
At this moment my partner had called me on Discord, and explained to me how he started private messaging Alk Rufus once he saw his private chat was turned on during my live stream. Apparently after this encounter, Alk Rufus was telling him that he wanted to have round 2. Which me and my partner both found extremely strange. Given the fact that this Alk Rufus guy was extremely garbage, and was risking a very high amount of cash. But due to the fact that this was old school RuneScape, we didn't doubt the level of stupidity of this young goblin boy Shat. I then waited patiently in level 3 wilderness, just out of Alk Rufus' sight, and the second he came into the wilderness, I tried yet again to rush him with my special attack, but unfortunately this dumbass goblin was able to tank my attack yet again. My partner, using his master manipulation skills, began to act like he was pissed off at me for trying to rush Rufus, so I acted like I had made a mistake, and was going to stay out of the fight. But the second they started to engage back in combat, I jumped over the wilderness stitch, which led to Alk Rufus running out of the wilderness. At this point I had apologized, hopped worlds, and ran back into the wilderness for another sneak attack. And just as my partner was giving Alk Rufus the slaps, I came in out of nowhere, and delivered a massive 56, to dumbass Alk Rufus' tiny, pathetic chest. Sending him back to the city of Lumbridge, at lightning speeds. Ha 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 ha, wow. Finally, after so many failed attempts, we were finally able to clap down this brain-dead moron for his Robin Hood hat, and his ranger tights. I guess this wasn't an elaborate lure after all. I guess this was actually just a naive idiot who had no self-awareness, or any idea what he was doing. But based upon the fact that he had protected his ranger's tunic, and had Saradomin brews in his inventory, I thought for sure a clan was going to be rushing in at any second. But instead, we looted up the Robin Hood hat and ranger tights, and began crying in laughter as we just made off with some serious bank. Wow. I guess some players truly are as brainless as they look. I then went on my way to lose my skull and re-gear, when all of a sudden, my buddy told me that Alk Rufus private messaged him, and asked him if he wanted to fight again, in the exact same spot. So of course I hightailed my ass back to the wilderness, and patiently waited for Alk Rufus boy to skull up for the second time. Not to mention that he was re-geared with the exact same expensive gear, which was a huge red flag. This time we both anticipated the arrival of a massive team. But at the same time, we also thought that this guy might actually be the biggest idiot of all time. Just like last time, I ran in from the north, and we began double-teaming this brainless idiot like Riley Reid himself. And for a second, it appeared that he was going to make an escape. But my partner was quick to snatch his toothpick legs with an entangle at the perfect time, as we dropped back-to-back slaps on this toothpick's chest, and back. When all of a sudden, a massive team of level 60s came out of nowhere, with max gear, and ancient maces. But luckily for us, we were too quick for this shitty clan, and we made it out of the wilderness just in time. Ha 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 ha, wow. Thank God I managed to make it out when I did, because if those clowns would have teleblocked me 1 second earlier, I for sure would have been smited for my volatile nightmare staff, which would have been a massive, massive loss. But fortunately for us, we were 2 steps ahead of this clan's assassination attempt. And we made it out with a free Robin hat, and ranger tights. But here is what I want to know. Based on the fact that I nearly clapped Alk Rufus for his bank in single wilderness nearly 4 different times, makes me wonder if Alk Rufus was actually just a brain-dead idiot, and the clan happened to just stream snipe me since I was fighting in multi-wilderness. Or was this the longest drawn out lure, where Alcrufus was manipulating me and everybody else in the wilderness the entire time? And if so, why didn't this clan rush me when I was picking up his loot the first time in multi-wilderness? I guess we will never know, but one thing is for sure. If I wasn't the quick-acting alpha robot that I am, I for sure would have been smited by that clan, and for that I take my hat off for that shitty clan. You boys almost got me, but almost doesn't cut it in these savage streets. Leave a comment down below if you think Alcrufus was just a decoy the entire time, or if you think he was just a brainless moron and we happened to get stream sniped by a clan. Either way, hunting down this cowboy was extremely fun, and barely escaping that massive clan was also extremely exciting, and I would personally like to thank whatever wanker clan that was for making our night on RuneScape that much more enjoyable. I know your typical Reddit crybaby incel would be bitching about this lure attempt, but I think moments like this are what truly make old school RuneScape the amazing game that it is today. Like I have said before boys, this game is filled with pimps and hustlers. But it's also filled with simps and busters. And it's up to you to decide which side of that line that you truly stand. Until next time boys. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Ha 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 ha. Wow.